Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special joint meeting of the Finance Committee and the Planning Committee. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to gather feedback from those who attended the tour of Proctor's last week. And we're anxious to hear from all voices. But before we get underway, I would ask that you please consider joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilmember Keel,
Present.
Councilmember Brosnan,
Present.
Councilmember Spain McLaren,
Present.
Councilmember Vera, absent, Councilmember Soriento,
Here.
Councilmember Casey,
Present.
and Council President Steele also present. I want to just clarify to folks who plan to speak, this is not a Q&A. Our public forums are designed for us to get feedback from the public, and we're not to engage in conversation. I want to add that, quite honestly, we don't have any information to add because we've not been given any of the information we've asked for. It's now over 3 months that we requested documents, and nothing has been provided to the council. So there will be no response. Should you have any questions, we will certainly take your questions down and endeavor to obtain any information we can. But this is a public forum, and I hope that that's clear. And at this time, I would invite anyone who wishes to speak on their feelings regarding Proctor's to come forward. We'll do this one at a time. Please provide your name and place of residence.
Vic Christopher, 12 2nd Street. Council, the RFP process seemed pretty clear to me. I have as much information as anybody has, but it's obvious to me. When you look at the other applicants and what they proposed, not appropriate. Everybody sitting in this room has their own idea about where City Hall should be. I have my idea too. Proctor's, this is appropriate enough. This is a project good enough that we should all get behind. Nothing's going to be perfect for everybody in the city. And we run into this problem in the city where nothing happens because everybody has their own ideas and we're stagnant. And if you look at Monument Square, it's a prime example of that. We've scared off quite a few developers in the past 15 years here. The amount of investment that hasn't happened in this city is into the hundreds of thousands. And if you look at, you know,
Vic, could you?
okay, yeah,
address the
understood,
council?
understood.
Thank you.
I will not grandstand. But if you look at the amount of money and investment and emotional investment that people had in the roller coaster of the Monument Square saga, and all of the beautiful drawings that was submitted, and the money invested, and the people that put their heart into these projects, just to see it get shut down by politics time and time again, from my standpoint, it's embarrassing. And it's very frustrating to watch time and time again. This City Hall is a nice little project. We got to get out of this building. We all agree. Financially, this makes zero sense. This was an escalator designed to push us out of here. We got to get out of here. Is Proctor's the greatest City Hall idea ever in the history of anyone's imagination? No, but it is appropriate enough. And if you care about the building, this is in the highest and best use possible of this building. What else are you going to do with this building? American Theater sat there with no interest, you know, thankfully Philip Morris, we've got a great grant package. We're going to do something with that theater. We don't need 2 theaters. Times have changed. There's no possible better use, realistically, for the Proctor's building. I think this is appropriate enough. And as far as not having information, we're never going to have enough information. You can always say that. But from the information that I have, I'm thrilled by this. You got the parking thing figured out, and it's a pretty stately building that you could envision as being a respectable city hall. And you know what? You could really move in there next week if you had the offices that are currently in there. We're talking about modifying the theater portion of it. But we don't have to. You could move into that thing, and you could have the council chambers back at the church around the corner if you really wanted to. You could pull the trigger on all this stuff right away. This seems like, and these are brand new offices that they created in the Proctor's building. This seems like a relatively easy lift. It just seems very logical to me. It doesn't seem like, you know, this would really be that much of an effort or unrealistic type of project. And I just want to end with this. We've got about 11 projects in the pipeline right now that you're all looking at, that we're hearing about, that we're reading about. Every one of them is in excess of $20 million. By my rough estimates, and I spoke to Business Review about, you know, what's the total investment that we're looking at in Troy overall? Well, it's got to be in excess of $300 million. And with inflation considered, this would be the greatest outside investment in the city of Troy in 100 years, easy. And I think we need to show, we all want to grow the city, but it's not going to be perfect. But I think if we can get together on a simple thing like this and support these outside developments and this outside investment and just come together as a group and say, you know, we want to grow the city together. This is our time to do it. We will make it happen. And if we don't, it will be very, very sad and a lost opportunity. So I hope we can all come together on this, guys.
Thank you, Vic. Does anyone else wish to address the council?
Hello, everyone. I was asked to read a letter from Dom Rittner. He is at a 250th anniversary of the canal, or 200th. I apologize for the canal, or 250th for Albany. There's a number of different events going on. Long story short, he's up in Queensberry this evening. Members of the Troy Common Council, I strongly support this project to transform historic Proctor's Theater into Troy's new city hall, while also restoring the theater for public use. Troy is a magical city with a rich history, a city whose architectural treasures tell the story of its greatness. We are blessed with some of the most beautiful historic buildings in America. Yet, we all know that too much of our downtown was lost during the wave of urban renewal back in the 1970s. Whole blocks of history were erased, and with them, a piece of Troy's soul. That is why it is so vital that we protect, restore, and breathe life into, back into the historic landmarks that remain. Proctor's Theater is one of those icons. It has stood for nearly a half century in neglect, but it still represents the creativity, vibrancy, and civic pride that once defined this city. By restoring Proctor's and making it the new city hall, Troy will finally have a seat of government that rivals the other beautiful city halls in the Capital District. This project would give Trojans a city hall worthy of our heritage, while also opening the doors once again for the public to gather, celebrate, and enjoy performances in a space filled with memories. This is more than a construction project. It is a chance to bring our community together. Proctor's is more than just bricks and mortar. It's a symbol of Troy's greatness, a reminder of who we were and who we can be again. Both sides of the political aisle should be able to unite behind saving an icon of Troy's past and giving it a future. It may be one of our last chances to bring this beautiful symbol of Troy's greatness back to life. Proctors cannot withstand another 47 years of neglect. Restoring Proctors will also spark the revitalization of Fort Street, bringing energy, investment, and pride back to a vital corridor of our city. And let me ask you, how many of you remember the joy of sitting in those seats, watching a movie or seeing a famous performer at Proctor's during your youth? Isn't it time to give that gift of joy back to the future generations? This project will not destroy the theater, but give it more life, more time, so that in the future, when economic conditions are right, the whole theater can be restored to its former glory. It will happen. If Proctor's is restored, the smaller theater spaces within the complex could become some of Troy's most versatile and vibrant venues. For example, here are a few uses: community performance and theater productions, a stage for local theater groups, school plays, and community talent shows. Smaller, more intimate, but perfect for nurturing local voices. Film screenings and festivals, independent films, documentaries, classic movie nights, and even on the back there, Shippy,
No, there's no other.
Alex, it was on the back page. You gotta get me the back page. Thank you. We'll finish in a minute. Some popcorn, soda, pretzels. Thank you.
Mayor, maybe this is the time for me to interject some humor here. I have to share that the first date I had with my future husband was at Proctor's. It was the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. The movie was great. The marriage worked for a while.
That's a cute story.
Irene,
I
you
thought
were
there was another future.
too young, right? Irene, too young? There was a fundraiser thing, since we're doing I love to say it, the fundraising thing, Roy Raiden Review was the PBA and the UFA got together for a fundraising show, and they'd bring people like Mickey Rooney through and stuff. And I actually saw Tiny Tim,
Oh,
and he sung Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
And I think, I'm not sure, Council President, Space Odyssey, or what was the last movie shown? I know, I think Kathy Sheehan had said that might have been one of the.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something.
Oh, you're right. I do apologize.
That's okay.
So I'll continue. Made in Troy Film Festival, celebrating local talent, lecture series and public forums, a civic space where residents, historians, authors, and civic leaders can share ideas and engage the public. Music and dance performances, jazz, chamber music, acoustic concerts, dance recitals, smaller shows that don't require a large theater, but still deserve a professional stage. Educational programs, partnerships with RPI, Hudson Valley Community College, Sage College, and Troy Schools for lectures. Student productions and workshops, as you can tell, Don's very passionate. Cultural celebrations, a venue for Troy's diverse communities to celebrate heritage with performances, storytelling, and art, comedy and spoken word, stand-up, open mic nights, poetry slams, spaces that thrive in an intimate theater setting, city and civic events, award ceremonies, swearing-ins, public forums, or community roundtables, giving the public a city hall that doubles as a cultural home. Business and nonprofit use conferences, training sessions, and annual meetings in a setting that connects professional life to Troy's cultural life. I fully support this project, and I urge you to do the same. Together, we can restore not only a building, but a symbol of Troy itself. Stop the political divide and unite so that future generations of Trojans will look back and thank you. This is about more than politics. This is about pride. This is about saving an icon, restoring a landmark, and reigniting life on 4th Street. Council members, this is our moment. We can either let Proctor's crumble into dust, or we can bring it back as the beating heart of Troy. This project gives us a city hall worthy of our history, a theater alive with activity again, and a 4th Street filled with pride and energy. Proctor's has waited long enough. Troy has waited long enough. Let's not miss this last chance to restore a symbol of who we are. I urge you to stand together, approve this project, and let's bring Proctor's back to life. Don Rittner, 100% Trojan, an author of 14 books about Troy, history columnist, Troy Record, Saratogian, Oneida Dispatch. Thank you. I'll have
Thank you, ma'am.
Maria give you the
We'll
second
get the second page. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Annie Borthwick, and I live at 3202 6th Avenue in North Central now. I used to live across from Bethel Baptist Church on 5th Avenue, the 2100 block for 42 years. And I also went to one of the last movies at the theater, but I was barely a Trojan then, so I don't really have much of a memory. I came just specifically to ask, I have been commenting on this move, and I find it very confusing. The good number of people believe that we are going to restore the theater, that we're going to repaint the theater, that we're going to repair the plaster, that we're going to repair the finishes, but not the seats. Other people think that we're going to build a box in a box and put windows that will let us look at the crumbling theater because we don't have the money, and we won't ever have the money to do any work on the theater. Right now, just now, it sounded like the writer of the letter believes that we're actually going to restore the theater. I just don't understand. I haven't, my thought of what was happening, and I've listened carefully, was that we are building a box in a box, and we're going to put windows in it so you can look at the balconies and the theater. But we're just going to look at it because it's such an enormous expense. So I don't understand that situation, and I think it needs clarity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Does anyone else wish to address the council on this topic?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
So I'm Noreen McKee. I live at 129 Second Street. And
Noreen, you have to keep the mic real
Right.
close. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest.
I've been here before and have spoken pretty much about the numbers for the financing. You know, I would love to see a new city hall. Wouldn't we all? But it's got to make sense. You know, we've just emerged from 25 years of coming out of a debt situation, austerity. We have neglected a lot of our infrastructure. And now we want to take on $10.6 million bonding, more debt for this city hall at Proctor's, and we don't have any details about the numbers. I'm very concerned about the lack of details. And I'm also concerned about the scope of the project. The construction of what has been built as a box within a box. I did the walkthrough, and I just can't visualize how this is going to be done in a sound way. I'm also concerned that there is no light. As the previous speaker said, we're going to be looking at this crumbling infrastructure. I'm concerned about the legal liability of $1.6 million that hangs over us for rent for the 2 years that we may be liable for the illegal termination of the contract, the current contract. And finally, I'm concerned about the rush to make this happen. It doesn't make sense. We need to do our due diligence. The city council needs to do its due diligence, and let's get this done properly. Let's not rush into this. There's too much at stake, and I urge you to do the responsible thing and slow this down. Thank you.
Thank you, Noreen. Does anyone else wish to address the council? That's
Wrong, Mike.
the other mic. There's so many mics.
Excuse me. John Del Conte, 459 Broadway. I didn't know it was a joint meeting with the planning board tonight. You all look like the same people that were here for the finance board. Are you all, anybody serve?
This
Sorry.
this isn't a
Oh, okay.
joint with the
Okay.
planning.
Yes, it is. Planning committee, planning committee,
Oh, right.
planning committee.
Planning committee.
Right. The
Right.
finance committee comprises the entire city council. And members of the planning committee are also members of the city council. But this is not a planning board meeting.
I see. Well, I just wanted to mention, just because last night at, for the St. Rose campus, there was an open meeting regarding visioning of the use of that campus. And although at the start of this process, I agree with the mayor's general principles of finding a permanent city hall, of reducing costs and revitalizing 4th Street. I think those are good principles. However, I think the process is a little reversed, that we have a proposal out before the community is given the chance to do some type of visioning process. I think the points offered in Don's letter were good, but some type of a more robust planning process where we have a charrette, et cetera, and have a call to the community. I know we've had various community meetings, but these have been a different kind of structure that doesn't really is not that accepting of a more deliberate visioning process. So that was my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, John. If anyone wishes to speak, just feel free to come up. I don't have to keep asking. You're more than welcome to come forward. I'm not seeing anyone coming forward, so, okay.
Does this work?
I hope so. Does it, is it on, Maria?
My name is John Waite and I live at 1920 Fifth Avenue. And I also agree with the sentiment.
Maybe we
That-
need batteries.
Proctor's. It's on. It's on.
Chad, one, two.
Hello? See? Nice and loud.
Okay, I agree with the sentiments that have been expressed that Proctor's Theater is an important part of the city of Troy and certainly should be preserved. It was listed in the National Register of Historic Places in the 1970s, one of the first buildings in Troy to be listed. And like some of the people that have spoken tonight, it's very difficult to find hard information on this proposal. I looked at the drawings that have been provided by the architect to the developer, and they're confusing to say the least. It's been stated that the existing office block, 4 stories, is 20,000 square feet. If you use the dimensions on the drawings, it turns out to be something less than 8,600, 8,700 square feet. Fully, a large portion of that, each floor is given over to circulation, which is way out of proportion for what it should be. The theater, according to what's been proposed in the drawings, would absolutely be destroyed by inserting their proposal for the city hall within that space. It would require that the structural system, which is sound right now, would have to be completely torn out and replaced. The seats for the council chamber would be reversed from the way they are now. When look towards the stage, and it's a proposal right out of the 1970s that in order to have to save something with it's a Vietnam village or a downtown American city, you have to destroy it in order to save it. And that's not where things are today. Architecturally, there's a lot of waste space, and in order to get the square footage that you have on this floor, the Headley building, you would have to go in and completely take out everything in the theater if you're going to do it within that building. There are other things like there's cross sections they've done to show how they build a box within the theater. Well, they don't build the box. They build several small boxes with headrooms that are less than what's in this space. In fact, the city council chamber rendering, which they showed last at the walkthrough, it looks like a cheap motel meeting room and not a city hall space that's that a city like Troy should have. Finally, I have questions about the financing, which seems to be there doesn't seem to be a lot of information. Because the building's on the National Register, it's eligible for historic preservation grants from the state of New York. And the city of Albany, city of Schenectady, city of Kingston have all used that money to put new city hall facilities or continuing city hall facilities in existing historic buildings. And I have questions about how the financing work with the proposal that I've heard presented orally. It's not clear how the requisite state laws would be met by this proposal, particularly general municipal law, the state finance law, which requires competitive bidding for all construction projects, the Wicks law, which requires separate trades contracts for all public construction projects. And finally, the New York State Historic Preservation Act of 1980, how that's going to be met with the destruction of the theater. So I think in summary, it's a good idea to seriously look for uses for Proctor's Theater. This proposal, instead of preserving the theater, and in the National Register form, they identify the theater itself is the main character defining feature of the building. That would absolutely be destroyed by any way you look at it, and it doesn't meet things like the Secretary of the Interior standards for the treatment of historic buildings. So I think there are a lot of answers that have to be looked at. We have to get a lot of more information, and I think it's a really good idea that there's interest in saving the theater, but it's got to be the right use that ensures that the theater is going to be preserved for not decades in the future, but for the next century. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Does anyone else wish to address the council at this time? If so, please come forward. Thank you. Where are they going? I'm sorry, it's the other mic. Oh. Got it.
Erica Vale, Fifth Ave. So we've heard a lot of generalities and pie in the sky concepts, and the renderings are very basic. They're not very attractive at all. We hear from councilmen that we want this to be a showcase for the city so that when people come to visit Troy, they have something to be proud of. But this is a box in a box. There's no natural light. You're going to ask people to work there 40 hours a week in no natural light and low ceilings. How is that pride for the city? None of this project so far has mentioned doing anything about the surface crumbling. Yes, there is crumbling in the theater, but it's surface. It's the plaster. It's a poured concrete structure. The structure is not crumbling. It already was saved 15 years ago. So it's not going anywhere if this project doesn't happen. And it can be still preserved for the right thing in the future. As a tax-paying citizen, I'm a little upset that this is being shoved down our throat instead of something that involves us, because the numbers just don't add up, both in the budget, the timing, and the square footage that's gained. 20,000 is the number I've heard for what's lost. So having little peepholes to look out onto a crumbling infrastructure, a crumbling surface, the plaster, how is that good for Troy? Also, given that things aren't very clear, there's not transparency in this project at all, it's opening doors for future lawsuits. And who's going to pick up the tab for that? It's going to be tax-paying citizens. And yet we're not being involved early on. So it's really nice that people can write letters in support of something that doesn't have enough facts to support. These people aren't business people. They write books. And they're not all about Troy. So I'm sorry, I just can't support this the way it is. It's just the timing doesn't make sense. The budget doesn't make sense. The plan is intrusive to a very solid building. And the city does not have a good track record of taking care of their buildings. So in 20 to 30 years, we've heard both 20 and 30 years for a potential lease project. Which is it? And what's the building going to look like after that? Because we know what's happened to past buildings. So let's not do this to Proctor's. It deserves better. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Does anyone else wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll conclude if there's no one else who wishes to address the council. Okay.
I don't think so.
I think everyone has had an opportunity, and I want to thank everyone who spoke tonight. We have heard what you've said. We will certainly take it into consideration, and I absolutely agree that we need the numbers. And I look forward to that being provided before we can really go forward. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this joint committee meeting.
Motion.
By Councilmember McLaren. Second,
Second.
Councilmember Brosnan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Too bad.
No.
Do you guys want a break? Anybody want a break? No, just go right into it.
Yeah, the agenda.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move right into our regularly scheduled Finance Committee meeting. Feel free to stay if you wish. We have a pretty light agenda tonight, actually. But before we get started, we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. It's hard when you.
Yeah, the delay.
Councilmember Keel,
Present.
Councilmember Brosnan,
Present.
Councilmember Spain McLaren,
Present.
Councilmember Vera, absent, Councilmember Soriento.
Here.
Councilmember Casey,
Present.
Councilmember and Council President Steele. Is
It's
he
here.
President?
He's
President,
here.
President, and I'm also present. We had expected this evening to have our second quarter financial report. We were advised that that is not going to be on our agenda this evening. I will entertain at this point a public forum. Anyone who wishes to address us on any of the agenda items this evening. We have 6 ordinances and 3 resolutions. The agendas are in the back of the chambers. If anyone wishes to address the council on any of these items, please come forward at this time. Seeing none, we will move right into our agenda. Ordinance 37, ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Councilmember McLaren with a second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion on the ordinance. None? No questions? Nothing?
No.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 6 ayes, 0 nos. Ordinance 38, ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan, second.
Second.
Councilmember Keel. Discussion on ordinance 38. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance is adopted 6-0. Ordinance 39, ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Soriento with a second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion on ordinance 39.
Council
On-
President,
Councilmember McLaren.
um, this is for phase 2 of the lead replacement. Is there, is that what's being worked on right now in, Lansingburg?
Hi there.
Hi.
So currently right now, what's going on in Lansingburg is that was a kind of a gap while we were waiting for everything to iron out with the funding from the BIL grant, the 12.3 or so million that we got.
Right.
That has since been awarded. This will go towards that. So
Okay.
that next, what we're kind of what we're referring to as the big bid, where we're, awarding 3 different zones of the city with that funding that was coming from the BIL.
Okay, and it has, the RFP, all of that is already.
So it's
been-
awarded. The contractor is actually just finishing and getting some of their typical paperwork, insurance, things like that. So we
Gotcha.
should be seeing them mobilize any week, honestly.
Okay,
So.
and then
yeah.
will there be a schedule of what's going to be done?
Yeah, so you're gonna
released?
see them still in a similar area that you see a Fane in Lansingburg right now.
Yep.
It's very heavy, the 7th Avenue. So a big part of that funding was, and part of the reason that we did the kind of in between with Fane, what we are referring to internally as kind of mini bid to keep them going, because they were on contract. They've been going up to the end of their contract. Their contract was stopped. So we did a small bid. Fane did win it. That's who's been doing some of the work that you see in Lansingburg. What we're waiting for is that we come together with a plan, but it has to get approved by DOH. That finally happened, and then that's when we could put it out to bid. But so that area is also, you're going to see them in the Lansingburg area around 7th or so. It's targeting, high areas of lead. We're going to be hitting everywhere where there is younger children as well. That's part of the whole algorithm that's sending them, but we'll be seeing them in the Lansingburg area. And then we'll be gearing up for the next zone to be going out to bid in the next month or so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? Ordinance 39 is adopted 6-0. Ordinance 40, ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Councilmember Keel, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan with a second by Councilmember Soriento. Discussion on the ordinance.
Council President,
Councilmember Keel.
this is about pool money for the Knickerbocker pool, and I'm excited about it. This is another step forward to bringing the pool to Lansingburg. I know both Ryan and I, being in Lansingburg, are excited about this pool happening. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we all are excited about it.
Well,
Mhm.
good. we like
All in
that.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 40 is adopted 6-0. Ordinance 41, ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Councilmember Casey, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Soriento with a second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 41 is adopted 6-0. Ordinance amending the 2025 capital fund budget. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey, at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan, second.
Second.
Councilmember McLaren. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 42 is adopted 6-0. Just for those who might be watching or for members of the public who are wondering why we are moving so quickly on these, the council has seen all of these items prior to this meeting, so they were discussed in length. This is a budgetary necessity at this point, so they've been reviewed thoroughly prior to this. Moving on to resolutions, Resolution 89, resolution appointing commissioners of deeds for the city of Troy. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey, is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan with a second, Councilmember Soriento. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 89 is adopted 6-0. Resolution 90, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Municipal Emergency Services, Inc. for the purchases of ray gas detection monitors through NPPGOV contract PS 240 and League of Oregon Cities RFP number 1910 for the use of the Troy Fire Department. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Brosnan, second by Councilmember Soriento. Discussion,
Council President Steele.
Councilmember Casey.
I just want to say these monitors are very, very important. I can't tell you as a fire captain how many times I came on a scene and for some strange reason, people wouldn't have carbon monoxide detectors. And you'd have dangerous levels of carbon monoxide. These are very important tools for the fire department. And like I've said numerous times in the past, our fire department has to have equipment that's in good working order because lives really depend on it. I'm glad to be in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other
Council President.
Councilmember Brosnan?
I'm really happy that we get this passed for the firefighters. They need this life-saving apparatus. I had a question for the mayor if she's available. Yeah, you might know too, right? It's fine. Either way.
You didn't have to run.
I didn't hear that much, but how are you?
Good. I just had a question on how far out on the UFA contract are we?
Well, we're hopeful. Unfortunately, the UFA, for council's knowledge, went to mediation. We think that that was not a great move. They did it quite early in the process. We're hopeful. I can't go into details and I'll let Rick take over, but both sides are trying to come to an agreement.
We have another scheduled mediation on September 24th.
All right. When was the UFA contract up?
December 31st, 2024.
All right. And then any news on the CSEA contract?
Yep, we expect that to come to the council in September, hopefully for a September finance, and the regular meeting will be asking the council. That's our goal. So we're in communication. We're in the final league.
All right. Who has the baton right now? Is it you guys or CSEA for that?
Rick. The baton, who has the baton? Is it in our court or?
I would say the city does, but I need some clarifications from CSEA, so I'll be getting those.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 90 is adopted 6-0. Resolution 91, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Vandermolen Inc., distributor for PL Custom Body and Equipment Company, Inc., for the purchase of a 2025 Ford E450 PL Custom Medallion 170-inch modular ambulance number 254805 through the Sourcewell Consortium. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan with a second by Councilmember Soriento. Discussion?
Council President Steele.
Councilmember Casey.
I hate to go down memory lane all the time, but when we first got the ambulances and for a couple of years, the city was in a tough spot and we had some pretty bad ambulances. And I got stuck out at St. Peter's. We had an ambulance on Middleburg that died. I mean, with the call volume now, we need, newer equipment and everything. And to see that we're going to get this very quick, that's just great because the call volume's through the roof and we certainly need the best equipment we can. And thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 91 is adopted 6-0. At this time, I would entertain a public forum on anything. Doesn't have to be an agenda item, but if there's anyone who wishes to address the council on any subject matter, you're welcome to do so now.
John Kane, I just wanted to point out that I know months and months ago, Mr. Brosnan had to show up really sick. A few months after that, I know that I believe Councilman Vera, I don't know if anyone else had submitted to a corporation council for review. There is some legislation that allows members who can't attend to attend and vote via video conference. It's been adopted by many municipalities all over the state. It's very simple. It's been sitting on the corporation council desk for months. I know Mr. Vera tonight is probably hunched over a trash can or a toilet bowl or both or whatever, but he's very good at multitasking and I'm pretty sure he could also participate on his laptop, hopefully with the camera and the microphone off. But
That's legislation we'd love to see
Yeah.
come forward.
Yeah.
It's used with the planning and
it's
So-
used with
Zoning.
bodies all
zoning, so
over.
there's no reason why council can as well.
No,
Thank
it's,
you.
it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan with a second by Councilmember Soriento. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are
Um,
almost adjourned.
Yep, sorry, 2 announcements, sorry, just FYI. Vito's Way designation this Saturday, 5 o'clock. Muscle Car Show, Adirondack Muscle Car Show at Powers Park starts at 1. Then a band, then we'll designate Vito's Way at 111th and 3rd. And then a second band will come. Second announcement, if you could save the date, Jerry Weaver Way, September 26th at noon. And that will be over by Congress Street. We'll send you details, official invite, but if you want to put it on your calendar. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.